Take a look.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Hero Chris back at you with another one. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post, you already know the vibes. And it's draft day, is night one of the WWE Draft. And I already know what you're gonna say, Chris. What was the point of this draft, man? It was pretty pointless. Everybody stayed pretty much where they already were. Raw was drafting people to the show that was already there, so was SmackDown. I will say that we did have a couple of NXT call-ups, one being Carmelo Hayes and the other one being Kiana James. So, you know, that's a good look for both of them. Carmelo Hayes did get featured a lot on this show, so, you know, that's pretty cool. And we got a couple of switcheroos from Raw to SmackDown. One of the funniest ones was the fact that Braun Breaker is officially on Raw, even though, you know, they had the big dealing of, you know, Nick Aldis signing Braun Breaker to SmackDown. They had a big ceremony for it, just for him to get drafted to Raw, so that was pretty funny. You also had Nia Jax getting drafted to SmackDown, as well as Andrade. So, outside of that, man, nothing really changed. Everything pretty much stayed the same, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get more of that on Monday Night Raw for night 2 of the draft. So, outside of this, this was a pretty fun episode of SmackDown. Speaking of the draft, Roman Reigns marked himself ineligible to be drafted, so he's pretty much staying on SmackDown because it's the show that's Roman Reigns built. The tribal chief, the head of the table, he built SmackDown, so he doesn't really see any point of leaving, you know, tribal chief stuff. And speaking of the bloodline, Solo, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman, they didn't get drafted till the 3rd round. I'm like, yo, how did they fall off without Roman? You know what I mean? Without Roman and Jimmy. So, you know, man. But as far as this episode of SmackDown goes, one of the first things we saw was a contract signing between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes for their match at Backlash for the undisputed WWE Championship. And this was a different style of contract signing because there was no big table. They had their own separate tables. Nobody went through any tables. There was no violence. There was no fisticuffs. There was no, you know, extracurricular activity at all. It was pretty civil and cordial, you know. AJ Styles said that, you know, he understands why the WWE Universe boos him, because he doesn't respect LA Knight, but he does respect Cody Rhodes, and he respects his father, because, you know, you can't have a Cody Rhodes feud without Cody crying or somebody mentioning Cody's dad Dusty. So, you know, we already checked off that one box, and that was pretty much it. They both signed the contract. They said, we'll see you at Backlash. And then Cody and Triple H made the first round picks. Like I said, Carmelo Hayes got drafted to SmackDown. Bianca was the number 1 draft pick for SmackDown. And Jay was the number 1 draft pick for Raw. So, you know, pretty cool things going on right there. And then you had Carmelo Hayes come out and confront Cody Rhodes. Melo made mention to the fact that Cody said, when you come for the king, you best not miss. Melo said that when he shoots, he doesn't miss. So that made the main event match official. Cody Rhodes versus Carmelo Hayes. And I was pretty excited for that. I'm liking the way that they're presenting Carmelo Hayes so far. They're making it feel very important. That they said it was like the first time in a number of years that an NXT draft pick has gone this high up in the WWE drafts. You know, they're doing a good job of building up Carmelo and building up NXT, you know, doing those things to establish NXT as his own brand. So, you know, good for them. So after this, we had a tag team match in the feud that will never, ever, ever end between the LWO and Legado del Fantasma. It was Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee taking on Humberto and Angel. And the LWO won. I like both of these teams. I like both factions, but at this point, man, who cares? What we do care about is who attacked Dragon Lee. And Santos Escobar finally had proof. He had the footage You know, we're doing the footage thing again. I'm expecting them to show the CM Punk Jack Perry footage. It wasn't that. It was the actual attacker who attacked Dragon Lee, and it was none other than Carlito. I know I was just as surprised as you are. I couldn't believe it. Carlito and his afro attacked Dragon Lee. And Santos Escobar and the Legatos, they were laughing at Rey because another person has turned their back on Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio has more enemies than I care to even count. You know, he has Batista and Eddie and Santos and now Carlito, and the list goes on and on. His own son doesn't like him. At this point, I'm starting to think that Rey Mysterio is the problem. I always thought he was such a nice guy, but it raised the problem. So after this, we had a match with Braun Breaker, the newly drafted Raw superstar Braun Breaker. He had a match against Cedric Alexander. The match lasted like 32 seconds. Cedric did looked like he was gonna do a flip-de-doo or whatever, and Braun Breaker just speared him. So 1, 2, 3, doing a great job of establishing Braun Breaker as an unstoppable, killing, barking machine. So, you know, good for him. Good for you, Braun. It sucks for Cedric Alexander. Also, what happened to that tag team he was supposed to be in with what's his face? That went absolutely nowhere. So, you know. We had a backstage segment with Tiffany Stratton and Bayley, and Nick Aldis made it official that Tiffany Stratton will face Naomi, and the winner of that match will go on to face Bayley at Backlash. And Bayley said it's cool either way because if Naomi wins, she finally gets a one-on-one opportunity for the title, and if Tiffany wins, Bayley's gonna lay the smackdown on Tiffany Stratton's blonde candy ass. So we go ahead and fast forward to that match between Tiffany and Naomi. And I'm kind of like going back and forth, like, man, who's going to win? I kind of figured that some type of shenanigans would take place. I just didn't know what. And to my surprise, the shenanigans would come from Nia Jax. She came out of nowhere and attacked Bayley. Then Naomi tried to stand up for Bayley and she got beat up. She got her cheeks clapped by Nia Jax. And then you had Tiffany Stratton come and hit the prettiest moonsault ever once again on both Naomi and Bayley. And Nick Aldis made it official that at Backlash it's going to be a triple threat match. It's going to be Bayley defending her title against Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. So that should be a fun match. Something that was funny to me is the fact that, you know, whenever it's the draft, you have the legends come out. You had the Dudley Boys, JBL, Teddy Long, Michelle McCool, what's her face, Tori Wilson. So that was pretty cool to see all these legends that I grew up watching. Pretty cool. You saw Teddy Long doing the dance and JBL doing his shenanigans. So that was always pretty funny. But what isn't funny is the fact that the Bloodline, they're here. Solo wants answers from Paul. He wants to know what's going on with the draft. And at that point, the Bloodline was undrafted. Tama Tonga was mad. He doesn't know how to close his shirt all the way. So, you know, we're praying for you, Tama. Hopefully one day you'll close that shirt of yours. And then Kevin Owens came out of nowhere and put the beat down on both Solo and Tama Tonga. And this went all the way through Bianca's segment because Bianca was talking to Kayla Braxton about her tag team match with Jade Cargill against Damage Control at Backlash for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And then you had Kevin Owens and Tama Tonga fighting. Solo Sikoa came out of nowhere. He has gloves on both hands, you know, so that's a pretty cool look. And as the Bloodline is putting the beat down on Kevin Owens, we see the return of Randy Orton taking up for his boy, his buddy, Kevin Owens. So, you know, their tag team is still going strong. You have RKO? Yeah, we'll go with that. So at Backlash, it's going to be RKO taking on the Bloodline. So, and this is going to be Tama Tonga's first WWE match. You know, what better way to make your WWE debut than at a PLE? So, you know, good for you, Tama Tonga. Good for the Bloodline. And I'm calling it right now. Jacob Fatu is going to debut at Backlash. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The Street Profits are going to fight A-Town Down Under next week for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I'm pretty sure they're going to lose, but it should be a fine match. Speaking of tag team match, we have the Final Testament attacking the New Cash Republic, and they're going to have a tag team match next week. So, you know, hey, cool. But this leads us to our main event, Carmelo Hayes taking on Cody Rhodes. And you know, this was a good match. I think this is the first time they've ever. I'm pretty sure it is the first time they've ever wrestled. I'm thinking of the fact that I think it was Carmelo that helped Cody train when he came back from that pectoral injury. So you know, that's some long-term storytelling for your butts. But you know, this match went pretty much the way you thought it would. Even though it looked like Melo and Cody, I don't know if they botched it, but it kind of looked like they did it on purpose, where they Carmelo went for a springboard and Cody went for a springboard, and they both missed each other by a country mile. And Cody hit the crossroads on Melo, and it kind of looked like Cody was kind of, you know, favoring his shoulder a little bit. So hopefully he's not injured. Hopefully it's just, you know, he's just a little banged up, but he's not really hurt. So after the match, AJ Styles comes out, and it ends with them shaking hands. And I think next week they're gonna have another face-to-face, Cody and AJ. And I gotta give them props for not mentioning the Bullet Club at all. So, you know, good for you guys. Good for them. Good for Cody. Good for AJ Styles. Good for the Bullet Club. Too sweet me, bro. So there you have it, man. Night 1 of the draft is in the books. Like I said, the sentiment is this draft was pretty pointless, but I understand why they do it, because it's kind of piggybacking off the fact that you have the NFL draft happening as well. So, you know, it makes sense, even though, you know, nothing really changed too much, but it is what it is. But with that being said, guys, what did you think of this week's episode of SmackDown? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you despise it? Did you not watch it? Did you not care? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.